Hello everybody and welcome back to the Highland Fishing Expansion on Kinlaig. So we are going to start this episode off by collecting our drill because we're going to go put some canola in. So we need to get this on, and I can't remember what the capacity was because I think we went for the upgraded seed and fertiliser. So what we will do is, if we go, is it grains here that we can get it? Seeds, we'll go for 3 of these, so let's buy them, and we'll go for 3 of fertiliser, which that isn't going to give us. So we'll have to go here, solid bags fertiliser, let's go 3, because we're going to have to be careful because we'll have a trial run. Where have they gone? Over there. We'll have a trial run in that stubble field, but I believe, if I remember rightly, it's been a day or two since I was on. We just spread fertiliser over that, so I don't think we'll be able to get, or at least last time we did it, we didn't get the fertiliser state, the fully fertilised state when we drilled with fertiliser. Instead, it just used it up, and yeah, we just carried on with the one. So we'll have a test to see what happens on there. I also want to see whether, is this all going to fit in? Well, brilliant, we did that perfect, getting 3, didn't we? I want to look at getting some more land. We definitely got too much seed though. I want to have a look at getting some more land. There's 2 fields to go for, or that I'm interested in looking at, which are field 24 and field 21. The benefit of 21 is it's fully fertilised, and what's that, 5 acres. But then there's field 24, which is 8.5 acres, but it's not fully fertilised. So we could buy that, go straight into drilling of that, and then if we could hopefully make some money sooner rather than later, well, in this episode preferably, we could be able to buy that as well, which that will be a double sort of whammy for us. But yeah, we'll just have to have a think. But what I think I am going to do is we'll go to the stubble field first. We'll have a test to see whether this drill will put down the second layer of fertiliser with fertiliser in. If not, we'll have to look at something else. And we've also got our fertiliser bag that's stuck. So by doing this drilling, I'm hoping we may be able to free that up and get it out, just to tidy up the yard a bit better. So thinking about it, obviously I'm wanting to try and do a bit of crop rotation, and I'm wanting to try get into potatoes and stuff like that. So let's just have a flick over to here. So he's ploughing on very nicely. And that other field there, that would be, there's a gate top and bottom of it. So I am going to go for field 21. We're going to buy that, and then it just sort of adds in, and then yeah, it's field 2, 24 and 36 are all the fields that make sense for us to go for. But right, let's go. You'll be able to see probably, not whilst we're in there, but let's find this. I'm going to change this to canola, and let's get our lines, our steering assist on like that. And I hope it does, because I remember in 22 you used to be able to do it. You used to be able to spread fertiliser, and then as long as you were drilling, or at least I'm sure as long as you were drilling, it would you wouldn't have to use, you could put that in again. So let's drop that down and put this on. Let's see what this says is happening, because like I say, look at all fertiliser going down there. So onto the map, yeah, and it's not putting it down. So let's turn it off. We'll go empty it. We'll then just load it up with seed, and then we can get this drilled. I imagine if we were to put it into stubble, not stubble, if we were to go over with the cultivator, I'd imagine we'd be able to do it that way. This is the bag I'm on about. Get rid of that one. Right, we'll get this one, and then we can tidy up a load of these, because these seem to be all over. And I forgot we had some rolls. That's nice to know. To get the remainder of... Oh, that was 1.5 pallets there. And now we'll go get this one down here. And that's all our seed, I believe, will be down at this bottom. Oops. That was a bit dramatic, wasn't it? That flicking. Come on. Why is that not letting me load up into here? Interesting. If we drop it off and put it back on, will we be able to get this seed now? What's happened with this bag of seed? 982 litres there. Let's unfold then. Let's see if this makes any difference. But we've just loaded up. I don't know whether it's glitched now. Oh no, because we loaded up some pallets. I was going to say, I don't know whether it's glitched because we loaded up that trapped one. There we go. That's now going in. And this very well, it's nigh on filled it for us, which is brilliant. And I'll keep that drop down actually, because there's no point lifting that back up. And yeah, so we'll get on with this first job, getting the I was going to say fertilising done, but getting the canola field drilled into here. So back onto steering assist. Shall we turn it on, drop it down, and let's go. Whether I mentioned it in a previous episode, but I'm wanting to try and go down the green manure route, which I think I did have plans to do this field with, is it Alti Radish? Yeah, which if I did have plans to do that for this field, I completely forgot. So what we can do is we can go do it for that field, which the plough's in. So we'll go have a look what's he got. Finished on that side. And he's just got a breed or two to do on this side. I'm trying to work out what's going on there. So by the looks of it, he's missed a pass and he's going to be doing this bottom pass. So we'll just have to go finish this off quickly for them when they're done. But what we need is... Where are we going? Up here. We need a bigger cultivator than the one we've got, or a bigger disc harrow. So we can go 180, which what is our tractors? What are they? So that's a 150, 235. So 235 is what we're working on. So cultivators, what's that? 6 meters. 6 meters, 180. That's decent. That's getting smaller. 7.5 meters. I'm liking the look of this at the minute. I was hoping to use something like that because they look quite cool. I haven't used them before. But for an extra metre and a half, well, it's a lot of money just for a metre and a half. That 260, so we can't go for that. Right, so none of these. So it's either that one or that one. So 550, 7.5 or 31. Let's have a look at just disc harrows, because there is this one. which instantly 180, 8 meters and 11 miles an hour. I think that could be the one we're going to have to go for. The power chain and the seeding unit. So does that mean if we put the seeding unit on, can we put oilseed radish in? What's it say here? Yeah, so we can. So ploughed. Let's go for that, and let's put the seeding unit on it, and let's buy that for 48,000. That seems to me like the best and most logical thing to do. With it being 180, let's get this, and we can go put the roller onto this, which this should be able to pull and get this field rolled. And then what I'm hoping is if we get that ploughed field, we need to go over it, to make a seed bed. So I'm hoping we can do that whilst also drilling it with oilseed radish, which will give it its first cultivator state, and then we can reuse that disc harrow to, let's say, first cultivator state, first fertilizer state, and then we can reuse the disc harrow to go over it again to get, to work that into the ground before we go over it with our drill. I'm hoping this works. We'll have to do a fair amount to make it sort of so that we save money, but it's doing something different is my thinking. So right, let's get this, and we can take this back up to the farm, and I'll put some fertilizer into here. I'll just put one fertilizer in here. Oh, that's loaded up with some seed. I'll just put one fertilizer in because I imagine we'll be doing a bit with the spreader, so I'd rather have some in there, and I think that's getting rather low. So I'll just slide this into here. Oops, I'm up against the central wall. So let's take that off. Let's now go get our disc harrow with our seeder unit on, and then, like I say, we can fill it up with some of the seed that we've got here. It'll be interesting to see whether this works. The only reservation that I think I'll have is with it having a seeding unit on, if we try use a worker with the seeding unit empty, will it say that it's empty? So is it something that we're just going to have to keep taking on and off? Which, if that is the case, we'll just go get ourselves a workshop. We'll get something so we can easily do it in our yard. And here it is. So this is it's a fantastic machine. You think 180 horsepower. Oh, we've got some seed here, so we might as well see if we can get all this in. Oh, it's only got 300 litre capacity. For what that is, that's amazing. 180 horsepower, so very, very little. And an 8 metre working width. What was it, 11 miles an hour as well? So that would be unbelievably handy. But right, let's get to our ploughed field and let's see, because with that being ploughed, there shouldn't be any weeds. My only reservation, thinking about it again now, on the drought, well, literally just thinking about it now, is with it being ploughed, if we put oilseed radish in now, we've obviously then got to cultivate it. If we cultivate it out, does that mean the weeds are going to come back? So is putting the oilseed radish better to put it into a stubble field than it is into a ploughed field? Well, one thing's for sure, we're soon going to find out. So, did our worker... Oh, they did. Oh, brilliant. So that whole field now, bar a little bit down here on the bend, is all completely done. So we can get him out of here, which annoyingly we're going to leave some marks, but that's completely fine. So that was obviously the onion field, all ploughed out. So I'm going to guess from a work perspective, or actual using your land properly, we've done that correctly. Gonna guess. And we can. Do we spread some fertilizer on it first, then put the oilseed radish in, and then it's fully fertilized? Or do we, no, we're just going to do oilseed radish, because when we drill it, we'll drill it with fertiliser. So there's no point going out, you know, we'll just have to make sure that's empty of fertiliser if we do it that way. So yeah, we're not going to put spread fert on. But let's just leave this here for now. Let's go back, jump into here. And I'm very interested to see how this goes. So let's put steering assist on. What's it giving us? 2 headlands, which is fine. Like I say, I really hope that it just doesn't give us weeds, considering we've ploughed to get rid of the weeds. And there we go. So that's making a lovely seed bed. So I'm thinking, when it comes to potatoes and onions, we'll put oilseed radish in for them, because then it gives it, you know, there's a bit of a break from doing it, because obviously this is going to a cereal crop, so it'll be next month. We'll have to look at cultivating this out to be able to drill it. So I think that's probably the wisest thing to do, just so we're not doing too much of one thing. And it's hardly used any seed at all, which is another big help. So if we turn it off and get that lifted up, and like I say, it'll be interesting to see whether we can use this, or a worker can use this without the seeder on. And we should go and have a look at how our worker is getting on up here with the rolling, which they shouldn't be too far off being done. And then yeah, it's just, what do we do with this field? I think that personally should look to be onions or potatoes. It just means then, however, we'll probably have to go next field down there where the soybeans are, look at putting that into onions and potatoes as well. So we'll just have to see, because like I said, I'd like to have at least one field of potatoes, one field of onions, considering we spent over $500,000 on the harvester we've got, and our combine harvester there is causing a problem, so we'll go get that moved. And these soybeans, they'll be ready next episode. So I think before we move on, we have one more job to go and do, which would be to, first let's get to here, we'll have one more job to go and do, which will be, we need to put some logs into, or some bits or some trees into our sawmill, and then once that's done, we can move on and get the soybeans harvested. So I'm just trying to think, what's the best way to do this? Because if we go to do a time lapse of cutting the trees, it can get a bit like, whoa, like this. So I'm toying with, if we don't take the branches off and we just cut the trees and bring them in, will that make it more sort of bearable? We also do need another shed, which I'm thinking this is definitely going to be the place to put one. So you first need to what? To unfold the plough. Okay, so we can't drop that whilst it's folded. So we'll put that like that, and we can get that off. We'll go get the winch. Is it slowly still taking off that pile there? I'm on about the fish food. Right, let's get the winch on. I think we'll just have to give it a go. And when I go edit it, if it is really too, like, too bad to be able to view, then we won't do it. Won't do it again like that. And we are opening up a fairly big hole here now, which can be used to expand onto, which I probably will do. It'll be interesting now, how far do we actually go this way? Oh, so we now on go right up to the field, so we've got loads of room to go to. So if we drop these trees into the wood, will that then mean we'll be able to get the winch on them? But I do know that there is a bit of a weight limit, so we may have to cut some of these in half. But if I cut a load down, we can winch a load, and then if it's taking too long, we can just jump cut the time lapse to the very end, I think. But right, let's get to this one and let's get cutting. So I believe once we've got this little bit in, there's just odds and sods over there, which we can quickly jump cut to getting them off. And in here we have just shy of 134,000 litres of wood now. So we'll leave the winch here, because that's proving very, very handy. We don't need to take it over there. And as long as everything else is all alright, we can then look to move on. So if we go onto here, animals, the chickens are fine, sheep are fine, and cows are fine. And our productions, so that's getting full. We're going to have a look at a way of just keep transferring these onions over, because what's onions packed, what's the difference in price? So we go to onion. Oh, that's cool. It's registering how many litres we've got. So they're 882. And if we go to onions packed, you don't actually get their bottom price is the same pretty much as the highest price for them. So we're getting £400 maybe ish. Which I would have thought it would have been more, but anyways, if we just keep leading them out of there and into that production, it will make a lot of sense. Because it'll also be nice to see how much is in a pallet, which I haven't looked at yet. Because we lose 20 onions getting them packed. Sawmill, just a few extra little bits I threw in, taking us to 151,000 litres in there. Wood chips on it I think the wood chips is good, because that keeps they seem to be a lot lower than other productions. Offshore, so we could do with getting some more young salmon and trout, plenty of water, plenty of big stones, and in here we're selling these. So let's change the distribution again. Distribute. Let's just have a quick look offshore. Right, there's nothing here, so we do need to... Oh, there's 2 more pallets there. So what would these be worth if we got these Oh, just missed. That's annoying. Right, let's get ourselves up with that. What would these be worth? So a pallet of trout and a pallet of salmon. So that's right down at the bottom. Trout still holding the value, so probably be worth selling them. And salmon, they're still up there. We've still got. So if we went to the fish market with these both, I think that would prove dividends for us. So let's just tag the place and we'll get these over there now. So I have just brought these over to here. So we throw that one in. That's 27,363. And let's put this one in of 17,235. So that's added to the bank balance quite nicely. I've also taken some fish food from the farm and I've put it in our offshore production. So that should show fish food full. We took the pallet. Oh, I can't remember what it was now. There was a fish from the dealership. I've taken that over to the offshore, so that's all in. So that it should all be good. That's distributing, so that should be full. So if we sleep now, we should be able to turn that back to selling. Oh, I've got it on the stairs. So what are these? Whoa. Oopsie. These pallets are... Have I just moved these out the trigger? That's the point. I should, for I think one of the screenshots I did, we need to have... No, it wasn't that one. Was it? This one. So here, packed onions, 1,000. That's a weird packing sort of rate, isn't it? Oh no, sorry, 2,000 litres. I was looking at the wrong thing. I was looking at the pallet that it is currently trying to make. Yeah, so 2,000 litres a pallet, which I think that's brilliant because 1,000 litres a pallet would be far too small for a lot of things. But right, let's go get ourselves to bed and I will see you come the morning. So as you can see, the offshore production, that's now completely full. So we can change these back to selling. Because we, oh, that's storing, don't want that. Because we don't need these now for a little while. Stonemason, that's still going. Quarry stuff, that takes forever to use 5,000 litres of water. That's fine, that's fine. And, ooh, we need to fill this up. So this brings me on to my next thing of what do we do for these onions? Because we need to get them out of this shed. Yeah, let's run down to the shed first. We need to get them, be able to move them out of this shed and put them into the onion packing production. But it's, do we use a conveyor belt to get them out, or do we look at buying ourselves a load all or a telehandler, and then we can use a bucket and get them out? Because there's 70,000 litres there, which, yes, it will provide us with a lot of pallets to move, but they'll be worth a considerable amount more money. So is there... I was going to say, if there was something in the sale now, that would be absolutely epic. That would be very nice to have, but I think it would be a waste of money and time. And there is a rather... What's that? 9.1 metre windrower, 12 miles an hour. What is our windrower? 9.1. Yeah, there's no point changing that. But right, let's find this behemoth, because I believe we should be able to get in and do our sort. Ooh, we need to have a tidy up. And look at that. Our canola is ready. I was almost calling it how we call it in the UK, but I can imagine for the last word in it. Obviously, oilseed, I can imagine you not being in favour if you were to say that. But right, is this ready to harvest? No. So that must be next month. That's annoying. So we can, this month, we can cultivate this out, and then that will give this a fertilising state. And this field, needs fertilising as well, because this is only 50%. So what I will go and do is we'll get the rolls off, and we'll just bang some fertiliser on here, and then at the same time, once we've done the fertiliser, we can use this to put our hay bales in the animals and make sure they are all okay. But again, I'm going to leave the rolls down here because we'll need it for the oilseed radish field, I would imagine. I always find it worth doing a fertilising contract, especially like this. You know, that's just very quick and easy. An extra 3. Oh, I better turn off the spreader there. Although it wasn't spreading, wouldn't let me go any faster. It's a nice, what was it, £3,000, and it just fills in the time lapse a little bit more to make it worth doing. So, anyways, in the next episode, we have the oilseed radish. We need to get that cultivated in, because I believe we should be able to plant a wheat field now. And like I said, we won't do it the way around that we've just done it. We're ploughing, oilseed radish, cultivate, drill, roll, all that sort of. We'll do it straight into stubble, which makes a bit more sense. Obviously, we'll keep ploughing out all of our root crops, so potatoes and onion fields. We'll plough them out every time. So, and I do believe if we bob up to here, let's visit. So, yield bonus 97% and fertiliser 100. So, potential yield. So, I'll just look at the figures. So, we should, if we harvest this as well in the next episode, we need more hay. Obviously, we've got loads of silage. So, I'm just trying to debate whether we do half and half. Because silage will be worth the most amount of money, and we do have plenty here, but yet hay now is completely out. And if we go to these, obviously we need to get some onions in. Sawmill's fine, that's fine, quarry's fine. We better go to the stonemason, because I didn't check there. I can't remember the last time we checked here. So yeah, on the stonemason we need to get all these moved. But anyways, I just want to say thank you very much for watching. I hope you've all liked and enjoyed the video, and I will see you again in the next one. Bye for now.